Hello, welcome to Beacon Hill Books. I have 3 quick book reviews I want to share with you today. The first book I'd like to share with you is called Used and Rare Travels in the Book World by Lawrence and Nancy Goldstone. I was intrigued by this book from Leslie from Words of a Reader. She highly recommended it and I completely agree with her. This book was published in 1997. It's 192 pages and I gave it 5 stars. It's a book about book collecting, and some of my favorite things I noted about it was, obviously, it's A, about books, B, it's about particular books like classic books and classic rare books and old books, and I was introduced to a lot of classic authors and books that I hadn't heard of before that I wrote down to check up upon after. The other thing I really liked about this book was that it's based out of Western Massachusetts, where the authors are from, and they come to Boston quite a lot to a few bookstores, which is where I currently live. I was looking at some of the bookstores to see if they still existed today, since this came out in 1997, and I didn't see them just on Google Maps. Now, maybe this is because some of the stores they are going to are very high-end. I do think sometimes some of the bookstores don't survive here, but I definitely will be checking some of them out after this book, and checking out the next book after this. So one thing I didn't like about this book, I have to say, is because it was published in 1997, a lot of the times they're like, oh, we had to look up in the phone book and look up what the bookstores were in such and such a place, and then we Xeroxed it, and it takes it a little out of the current realm of what's going on, which is too bad. But so it mentions bookstores in Boston and a few in New York, and then some in Chicago too. So check that out. The next book I just want to briefly touch base on is Career of Evil by Robert Galbraith. This is the Cormoran Strike novel, number 3 in the series. I am not like completely taken with these series. Somehow I keep reading the books. Like, they just keep falling in my laps, and so I can't not read them. This is like almost 500 pages. It was published in 2016. I gave this book 3 stars on Goodreads. I got lost a lot in the character development. As you can see, I just think it gets a little too in-depth for me. I was losing track of which suspect was who. But I do love the Cormoran and Robin interaction. That keeps me coming back for more, and I will continue the series. It's just not one of my favorites. This book also, every chapter has a quote from Blue Oyster Cult, so if you like that band, it's very prevalent throughout this book. The next book I wanted to briefly show you is Truly Madly Guilty. This is by Leanne Moriarty. This book is not my typical book I would read. My friend gave it to me, so I felt like I had to read it. And I gave this book a 2 star on Goodreads. It's probably a 2.5 star. It took me forever to get through it. It's basically about 6 responsible adults, 3 cute kids, 1 small dog. It's just a normal weekend. What could possibly go wrong? And it's all centered around this one day at a barbecue where something goes wrong and how everyone's life is impacted by it. It was a little too long for me. This was 415 pages. It was published in 2016. I'm just not into this. You know, it's alright, enjoyable, but I definitely wouldn't have finished it if it wasn't my friend's book.